Today we're going to be reviewing a very good episode. It is Season 1, Episode 8, The Grasshopper Experiment. It's given that title because the grasshopper is the drink that Penny gives to Raj that causes a pretty big reaction in him. This is a pretty fun episode because this is the first episode really to feature Raj in a major way. He's been in every episode up to this point, but not really as a featured character, so we get to learn a lot more about him here. So let's get into the episode. I really like the opening of this episode. We start off with Sheldon and Leonard in their apartment. Sheldon is trying to rearrange his new wallet and is upset because he ordered a wallet thinking it had a certain number of slots and it doesn't have quite the right amount to fit all of his various cards. I like this because I've been through this struggle myself. I had the same wallet for about 16 years, and when I finally replaced it, it was hard to find a perfect, suitable replacement that had the same features I liked in the original. Sheldon's case is a little more severe as he has things in his wallet such as his Justice League of America membership card, which he says he's had in every wallet since he was 5. Raj and Howard arrive, and this is a big moment because Raj is carrying his computer displaying his parents on a video call. This is our first appearance of Raj's parents, and they are fun characters. They always bring a laugh every time they come on the show. I always like Raj's father particularly just because I remember him as Babu Bhatt on Seinfeld. Raj introduces his parents to his friends, and then they tell him that they have an announcement, and it's that they have arranged for him to get in contact with the girl that he knew from India as a child who's also living in America now. Raj is naturally upset about this because who wouldn't be upset about your parents trying to arrange your marriage in the modern day? I think it's a little funny, though, that Sheldon sticks up for Raj's parents, saying that this is very normal in Indian culture still to this day. I also like the part in this scene where Raj's parents insinuate that Leonard and Sheldon might be a couple because they live together, which they're pretty quick to try to correct at least Leonard. We take a brief trip back to Sheldon's wallet where he has finally decided what to clear space. He decides he's going to cancel his planetarium membership to clear that out of his wallet and make some room. Knowing what we know about Sheldon going forward, this was probably a hard decision. Raj had left because he was angry, but comes back because he received a voicemail from Lolita, and he doesn't know what to do because he knows he has to reply or his parents will be mad, but he also can't talk to women, so he doesn't know how he's going to do it. Howard has a quick solution, so he calls her using an Indian accent and makes a date for Raj for the coming Friday. So, much to Raj's dismay, their date is set. At this point, Penny enters, and she says she wants the group to come over to her apartment so she can test out her drink-making skills because she's gotten some shifts as a bartender at the Cheesecake Factory to make some extra money. We get an interesting note here because Leonard here notes that Raj doesn't drink. This is important because, if Raj doesn't drink up until this point, he doesn't know what his reaction to alcohol is going to be, which is what we're going to see next. So in Penny's apartment, Penny makes Leonard a tequila sunrise. She suggests a grasshopper for Raj, which she begins to make. Sheldon asks for a Diet Coke. She says she wants him to order a drink, and he asks for a Virgin Cuba Libre, which is a rum and Coke minus the rum. So what he asked for in the first place, just a Diet Coke. She tells him to get it himself out of their fridge. Howard finds a way to make ordering a drink creepy by ordering a slippery nipple, which Penny tells him, no, you're cut off. It's at this point we get to the key point of this episode, and that's that when Raj drinks his drink, he suddenly has the ability to talk to Penny, much to everybody's amazement. This is a very important character trait of Raj, so we know up to this point he can't talk to women, he's too nervous, but he gets some alcohol in his system and suddenly it unfilters him and he's able to accomplish it. So he quickly sees this as his solution to his date. He needs to have a drink before the date so that he can talk to Lolita at the date. Penny warns him not to go crazy because he's new to it and suggests that he come have their date at the Cheesecake Factory so that she can keep an eye on him. There's also an interesting Howard note about this point. Twice Howard made reference to his parents. Earlier, Raj asks, what are they going to do if they get together, sit together in silence? And Howard says, worked for my parents. Later, Leonard says, what are they going to do if they get together? Is Raj going to have to stay drunk all the time? And Howard again says, worked for my parents. So we've learned at this point, we know Howard lives with his mother. I don't think we've established yet that his father abandoned them, but he is painting the picture of an unhappy marriage between his mother and father. So we get to Raj's date with Lolita, and we get the other unfortunate side effect of Raj drinking. So we get the benefit for him that he's able to talk to her, but because he's drinking, he's also unfiltered, and he's being kind of rude and a jerk. Leonard and Howard are hanging out at the bar with Penny, and Sheldon arrives, says he didn't really want to be there. I think it's fun here because he gets a little payback for Penny not making his drink the way he wanted it at the apartment by ordering a Virgin Cuba Libre, just a Diet Coke, but he wants it in a tall glass with a lime wedge. When Sheldon sees Raj's date, he's instantly reminded of a children's character he knew from a book, Princess Panchali, and is taken aback by it. Raj brings his date over to introduce her to his friends, and Sheldon references the book. She's complimented by it, which makes Raj instantly jealous. He's a little bit upset and says he'll unleash his wrath on Sheldon if he doesn't stop. I think Howard gets a really funny line in here, which he pops in and says, "You have no wrath." Lolita's also upset that Raj called her his woman and said she's really just here to get her parents off of her back. She continues talking to Sheldon, and eventually they decide to go have dinner together, making Raj mad, and understandably upset considering Sheldon just basically stole his date. Back at Leonard and Sheldon's apartment, Raj is on another video call with his parents. They're upset that the date didn't go well. Raj is upset too. Leonard, of course, tries to back up Raj and say that it really wasn't his fault with what happened. When Sheldon enters, Raj is pretty upset and wants Sheldon to explain to his parents why he ruined his date and their potential for grandchildren, apparently. Sheldon is, of course, oblivious to the fact that he did anything wrong until Leonard tells him that you stole Raj's date and friends don't do that, after which Sheldon offers a apology. Perhaps a disinterested one, but as Leonard notes, it's more than he's ever gotten. Sheldon also reveals that Lolita said that Raj was drunk and boring. This makes Raj's parents very mad because they find out that he's been drinking, so they ask him to take them out into the hallway so they can talk more in private about that. We then get confirmation that to Sheldon, this wasn't anything wrong because to him, this wasn't a date. This was just dinner and conversation with Lolita. We don't know what it was from her perspective, but for Sheldon, he doesn't really want to see her again after this. For him, it was just a one-time dinner and conversation with somebody. And we then close the episode back at the Cheesecake Factory, where we find out that Penny's done a little experiment of her own, which is putting a little alcohol in Sheldon's drink, causing him to sing and perform in front of the restaurant. So I'd say that's a point for Penny in this little back and forth they've had in this episode. So that is Season 1, Episode 8, The Grasshopper Experiment. I really like this episode. I like the fact that this episode focuses on Raj. Raj is a character that I always kind of associated with. I think I have some similar personality traits, so I like to see him get featured here. And he'll be featured many more times going forward, but this is the first episode to do that. This episode builds on Raj's character a lot and has fun for everybody, and there's a lot of fun lines from every character in the episode. I would score this episode a very high 9 out of 10. It's a great episode, and I hope everybody enjoyed this review. If you did, please like this video, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and share the video with others. And as always, keep an eye out for the next episode coming soon.